Hi and welcome back to Garden Ninja. Now today we're back in the Exploding Atom Garden, which is one of my concept gardens that I've been designing and working on around about the past 8 months. Now I got back from Chelsea Flower Show a couple of days ago, and as you may see looking into the background, the borders are a bit worse for wear, and that's because I dug them out in winter, put the bare root trees in and then pretty much left them. So today what I'm going to do is get a digger, dig over the beds and rotivate them, and then I'm ready for planting. So come on, let's get cracking. So the big guns have arrived and we're now using the digger to dig over these beds, remove a lot of the perennial weeds that have risen up and to give them a bit of a cultivation. And then once we've done this year, I'll then hopefully be able to just mulch them each year and I can move on to a no dig policy. But for now, because it's been paddock, you really do need to dig to loosen things up and to sort of aid drainage and get the soil in a better condition ready for planting. So it took about a day for the digger behind me to cultivate all these beds, and that was to get rid of all the perennial weeds that appeared since the beds were dug in last year. And as you might see down here, we've now got a really nice layer of tilth, which is like broken down particles of different sizes, and it's really nice to work with. So I've got rid of all the weeds, and today I'm going to start to put in some of the additional shrubs that will start to give more of the architecture to the Exploding Atom Garden. I'm then going to move on to start to edge some of the beds in an edging strip, which will keep the clean lines that the design needs and will stop the grass growing in and the weeds growing out, so it should give me a clean edge year round. So I'm just going to introduce you to a few of the shrubs that I'm going to be planting today. Now if you've missed any of the other videos on the Exploding Atom Garden, it might be a good time to go back and watch them to get the overall concept and design as to why I've chosen these plants. But down here we've got a really nice Viburnum tinus, which is a fast growing evergreen shrub. So this will really bed in well with the rest of the plants and provide some winter interest. So when everything else dies back, there'll still be some green and interest in the garden. We've also here got the smoke bush, the cotinus. Now this is only a tiny looking plant at the moment, and these are 2-litre pots, but this will grow humongous. It will grow to like 4-5 metres high, probably about 2 metres wide as well. But the reason why I've chosen smaller pots for these is twofold. Firstly, they're far cheaper. If you were to buy a full-size version of that, you're talking a significant amount of money. And because I've got so much to plant out, I'm trying to balance the books with the size and the actual impact of the garden. So I've chosen some larger shrubs for structure. Some of the other shrubs I'm quite happy to put in and wait and see how they do. The second reason is that they don't need as much watering, which is far more helpful when you're dealing with a brand new garden, because you don't want to be out every day watering non-stop. It's going to cost a fortune and it's bad for the environment. So they're the two reasons. Lastly, we've got this, the Physiocarpus Red Baron. It sounds really angry, like it's just come out of Game of Thrones. Again, it looks really tiny, but this will grow substantially over the next year or two. It's deciduous, so it loses its leaves in the winter. As you can see, in the spring and summer, you get these really vibrant red barren leaves, and they look a bit like sort of rich red wine. So I'm going to be popping those in today, along with 2 more established shrubs, one of which here is the Euonymus alatus, which has incredible orange foliage in the autumn, and then another hazel, purple hazel, which is going to go in, which will link to the other purple hazels that I planted as bare roots. So I'm going to stop talking and start planting. Now this soil is in absolute perfect condition now, which means that digging in these slightly larger shrubs, hello Barry, is actually far easier. So it's definitely worthwhile putting the effort in to improve your soil, dig in organic matter and de-weed before you do any major planting. So I've unrolled the edging strip and I've left it in the sun for about an hour just to soften it so that it's easier to work with. And now what I'm going to do is, using a half-moon edger like this, is just neaten up the edges of the border. Because I dug them in last year and they've been cultivated, some of the edges are a bit skewy. So I'm going to tidy them up with the half-moon edger, and then I'm going to move on to digging the trench that the strip is going to go into. And now, using a clean, sharp-edged spade, I'm going to dig the channel along this line. Now, What I want to do, if you can see this, is with this edging strip, I want to sink it so that I've got roughly 1 centimetre of the very top poking out above the grass. And that means the mower can pass over it without damaging the mower blade, but it also helps protect against the grass starting to encroach on the border. So it's been a really busy day here in the exploding atom garden, and I've got loads done. I've started to get some more of the shrubs in, which gives us the structure in the garden, and I've also started to edge. Now it's going to take me a few extra days to get all of these beds edged, but I've given you an example of at least one of the beds. So I've got myself a cold beer and I'm off to relax. I've been Garden Ninja. If you've liked this video, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel where there are plenty more garden design, how-to, hints, tips and hacks. Happy gardening.